One of the more challenging things to do as a world-class athlete is to time your season correctly so that you run your fastest during the biggest moments of the season. Of course, the two biggest moments out of any track and field season are either the World Championships or, of course, the Olympic Games, with the Olympic Games most certainly holding slightly more value than any other competition in the world. If you're able to run fast during these moments, your sponsorship opportunities absolutely skyrocket, and you'll probably get yourself in a few commercials if you're fast enough. And honestly, one of the more challenging things to do is to time your season correctly when you're a collegiate athlete competing in the NCAA. Most of the time, if you're competing as a collegiate athlete, you have a very long season during the indoor campaign, and then you have to turn around in just a few weeks and throw down up to 20 or potentially even 30 more races after your indoor season. It might not seem like it at face value, but running this many races that quickly can really burn out an athlete, and it makes it almost impossible to run well during the Olympic Games or the World Championships. And this is exactly what happened to many athletes last year in Eugene, Oregon, as they had very long collegiate seasons, and then they weren't quite able to reach their full potential on the world's biggest stage. It's kind of a conundrum to look at this from a collegiate standpoint, because the biggest thing that people push is to be a team athlete. That is, compete for your team the best you can, run as many races as you can, and score as many points as humanly possible. A few of these athletes that did this very well last year were athletes such as Favor Ofili, Matthew Bowling, and even Joseph Fahnbulleh from Florida, who really pulled out the greatness during the NCAA finals. But another athlete that we've mentioned multiple times is Abby Steiner, who ran for the University of Kentucky, and she also won the NCAA finals in the 200 meters. However, during that quick turnaround time before the World Championships, her finishing times weren't quite as fast as what she ran during the NCAA finals. And I think this racing strategy and seasonal timing is actually playing a significant role in 2023. Now, as many of you are very much aware of, Abby Steiner has officially turned professional, now running for Puma, and she's also running significantly less than she was last year. At this point during her previous 2022 season, she had already raced close to 30 times. However, so far in 2023, she's raced significantly less. With a significant slowdown like this, she also isn't quite running as fast as she was last season. And even though she certainly has a lot of time before this year's World Championships, there's a lot of people that are currently worried that she might not reach her full potential this season. However, I think that she fully understands what's going on, and I think that with her coaching staff and her previous knowledge on her own campaigns, she's going to time her season perfectly. And even though her seasonal bests are only 11.19 in the 100 and significantly outside of the 22-second barrier in the 200 meters, I think she's getting ready to really reach that top-tier speed. And in this year's Bermuda Games, Abby Steiner is set to run in the 200 meters, and she's also clashing against Ashanti Moore, who did manage to beat Steiner during this year's Michael Johnson Invitational. Just a few weeks ago, we saw Steiner and Moore run very similar times in the Michael Johnson Invite, but ultimately, Ashanti Moore came out on top by just a few 100ths of a second. Now, a lot of people were surprised at this, but honestly, looking at the way that she's timing her season, it actually makes sense that she's not running as fast as she possibly could. Because in order to reach her full speed during this year's World Championships, which certainly has to be the goal for Abby Steiner, it should really just be at the beginning stages of where she's starting to really amp up her times. And in this year's Bermuda Games, I think she has a tremendous opportunity to not just run a season's best in the 200, but to potentially break the 22-second mark this season. Now, when you talk about 200-meter specialties, Abby Steiner is truly one of the best. She has very solid strength, she gets out of the blocks pretty well, but really it's that final 50 meters where she has amazing speed maintenance, and very few athletes from around the world can compete with her when she's running at her best. Now, heading into this Bermuda 200 meters, she has the fastest personal best in the field by almost 0.2 of a second, with the second fastest athlete being Anavia Battle at 21.95. It's also the exact same situation for her season's best, which currently stands at 22.23. And the next closest athlete to Steiner in this category is actually Ashanti Moore from Jamaica at 22.49. Now, being that it is the middle of May, it does seem as though it is officially time for Abby Steiner to start throwing down world-class times. And she certainly ran very good times in 2023 thus far, but given her past, we all know that she can run faster. And I really do think that this is the perfect moment to see Abby Steiner break 22. If Steiner can start getting that momentum right now, I think that she is officially starting that slow and long drive heading into this year's World Championships. And with all of this information in mind, I now want to hear from all of you. How fast do you think Steiner will run in this 200-meter dash, and will she win this race over Ashanti Moore, Anavia Battle, and Candace Hill from the United States? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time.